So Netivot Shalom, and we'll do Sefer Bereshit, and the Parashat is still Vayetze, and the page is Kuf Tzadik Katzav, the butcher, the page of the butcher. Inyan Sulam, right, the ladder. Ve'achlom ve'ine Sulam utzav arza, right, so we know the dream about the ladder that standing on the ground and the top to heaven. Ve'ine malachei Elokim olim ve'yordim bo, ve'ine Hashem nitzav alav, right, so Hashem is standing upon him. The angels are going up and down. So many questions. How come the angels that they are supposed to be in heaven, why are they going up first? They should be going down first, right? Because if they haven't. Anyway, Ita b'midrash Rabbah, it says, Tani bar kapara, ve'ine sulam ze hakeves, right? So he said, the ladder actually is the kevesh. The kevesh was the ramp that goes into the altar in the Bet HaMikdash, right? Mutzav arza, so standing on the ground is Mizbeach, because it says Mizbach Adamat Seli, right? It was the altar made from the soil, from the dirt. Ve'rosho Magia Shamayma, and the top touching heaven. These are the korbanot, these are the sacrifices that the smell, the aroma of the barbecue, right, of the ribeye, whatever, going up to heaven. Ve'ine malachei Elokim, the angels that going up and down, these are the Kohanim. Olim ve'yordim bo, shem olim ve'yordim bakeves, so they're going up and down in the ramp, right, to bring the sacrifices to the altar that's made from the dirt, which is the ladder, is the kevesh, etc. Ve'ine Hashem nitzav alav, and Hashem is standing upon him. He said, I saw Hashem nitzav ala mizbeach. Amos, the Navi, the prophet says, I saw Hashem standing on the altar, right? Ve'Rabbanan patrin ale b'Sinai, and he said that actually this is Sinai, right, Mount Sinai. Ve'achlom ve'ine sulam ze Sinai. So when Yaakov read the dream, it says this is Sinai. Harvey, I'm going to mute you. So this is Sinai. And mutzav arza, what does it mean standing on the ground? Arza, the land is actually ve'tiatzvu betachtita, right? So if you remember the event, the Mount Sinai, then we were all standing at the bottom of the mountain. In Rosho Magia Shamayma, right? And the har boer ba'esh ad lev hashamayim ve'ene malachei Elokim olim ve'yordim bo. So the mountain is burning and the angels are going up and down. And who are the angels that are going up and down? These are Moshe and Aaron, right? So we have two explanations. One saying that this is actually the kevesh, the ram, the altar. The other one saying the Taneh Kapara says it's actually the Har Sinai, and the angels are Moshe and Aaron. The fire is from the har, etc. He says the explanation for this Midrash from Chazal. He said, right? So he said, and Rashi explained also that Yaakov Avinu bikesh la'avor, he wanted to pass, right, to go from his home to Lavan, right? So in the entire world, like he bumped into a wall. He wanted to pass, but there is a wall, blockage. He says, right? So he was living with Yitzchak and Rivka, his parents, which was a house of Torah. And then he learned 14 years in Shem Ve'ever in the yeshiva, right? In all of these years, he was Kodesh Kodashim, like an angel, right? He was totally disconnected from this world, right? Right, all his years, he have no blemish, have nothing until he married a wife. And also our sage says on the pasuk v'ishkav b'makomo, right? So when he was lying down to sleep, he says over there he was lying, he was sleeping, but all the other 14 years before he was not. He was dealing only with Torah and Avodah. And now after he left Beersheba to go Harana, right, to Lavan, after such kind of a spiritual years that he had, now he needs to lower himself to this world, build a house, have babies, children, paying bills, going to the market, etc., etc. So that's why the whole world suddenly stood up in front of him like a wall, right? Banging his head against the wall. So he said, so they showed him from heaven, right? They showed him that the ladder that is standing on the ground and reaching the heaven, it means that the purpose, right, for us to live in this world, the purpose of Hashem's will, that a Jew, right, a יהודי יעסוק בענייני העולם הזה, ובתוך זה ימצא דרך איך להיות קדוש להשם. So a Jew should deal with this world, and he should find a way how to be holy in this world. And this is the Sulam Mutzav Arza V'Rosho Magia Shamayim. And it says Sulam is also teaching us, מורה, right? מורה על קביעות העבודה של יהודי בעולמו בענייני עולם הזה. Instead, it's teaching us about consistency in our avoda in this world. That as long as we are in the frame, right? שיהודי יימצא תמיד בתוך מסגרת של קדושה. We are in the frame of holiness, inside the ladder. שיעלה דרגה ביותר דקה. One step and another step and another step until we reach heaven. But also when we're going down, we still need to stay within that frame of Kedusha. So we should not go out of the frame. Right? וזה אומרו, והנה מלאכי אלוקים עולים ויורדים בו. They're going up and down. So they're going up, like elevating themselves. They're going higher in the spiritual world, but also they're going down. But still they remain in the ladder. They remain on track, on the path, inside the frame of the Kedusha. And they don't go out of the frame. He said, this is the same way for this world. That whatever we do, if we do chas v'chalila, thing that we're not supposed to do, still we need to do it within the frame of the Kedusha. She said, because yes, indeed, ענייני העולם הזה מוציאים אותו מקדושתו, משפילים אותו לדותה תחתונה. I said, yes, this world, unfortunately, if we are working, we are interacting with whatever there in this world, when we are not isolating ourselves in a basement, then always we have interaction with things that will take us out from the Kedusha, and they will lower us down, right? But then only when he's making himself as the ladder, shaking off this earthly thing, the Gashmiut, ונכנס למקום הקודש, into the frame of the Kedusha, then all of whatever he is doing in this world will bring him closer to Hashem, even if we're going down in the ladder, chas v'chalila, right? Because we cannot going up always, right? It's no chance. And this is what they say in the Midrash, Taneh b'kapara, Sulam Mutzav Arza, this is the Sulam standing on the ground, this is the altar and the ramp. The Ine Mizbeach, so a Mizbeach, the altar, is a hint for our avoda, because the altar is a place of bringing sacrifices. It's a place that you work over there. You're spilling the blood in front of Hashem, right? You're spilling the blood in the altar, right? Our blood. When we work, when we put an effort, we sweat, right? It's coming from us, spilling blood. Instead, in the avodah ve'higia, and the work and the effort should be in that frame of the Kedusha, that we should never go out from it. And that work of the kevesh and the mizbeach, the altar and the ramp, starting from ground, and a small step, right? Baby steps, crawling, walking, and running. It's starting on the ground, small step, and then it's going up and up and up and up and up, one step at a time, until reach to heaven. And then we actually will have that position of, and Hashem standing upon him. And I saw Hashem standing on the altar, and then I saw the angel of Hashem going up and down. Right? And this is what actually they showed Yaakov Avinu. In Rabban and Amrei Sulam Sinai, where we have another explanation that the ladder is actually Mount Sinai. This is the strength of the Torah that Hashem gave us as a mean, right? As an אמצעות, שבאמצעותו אפשר להתקרב להשם יתברך, גם בעוסקו בעולם הזה. So even though we are working in this, when we're living in this world, Hashem gave us the Torah. The Torah not only to learn and to get to spiritual thing, the Torah is also the halachot, what to do in case of. Issue with neighbors, issue at work, in businesses, etc. Hashem gave us a guideline in this world. As it says in Har Sinai, right? כיוון שעמדו ישראל על הר סיני, פסקה זוהמתם. The spiritual field stopped. Why? Because we enter into the frame of the Kedusha. Then the field stopped. And that's the ladder again that is standing on the ground. The beginning of the avoda of the Torah, שתחילת העבודה של תורה, היא והתייצבו בתחתית ההר, we're standing at the bottom of the mountain, at the beginning, right? And then we're going up and up and up. And I learned something that, you know, when you're supposed to climb a mountain, because when you're looking at the Torah and all the knowledge, spiritual knowledge that we have, it's like the Mount Everest. So we're not supposed to look up to the peak and say, oh boy, how can we get there? You're just looking at one step, and you climb one step, and then another step, and eventually you get to the peak. But don't look at the peak at the beginning. right? So he said, "Vityatzu betachtitar," we're standing in the bottom of the mountain, in the lower level of the ladder. And then, הולך ומתעלה ממדרגה למדרגה. We're going and elevated from one step to another step, until when? Until the entire mountain is burning with fire to the heart of the heaven. And then Hashem is standing upon the mountain. It said, וירד השם על הר סיני. וזה אומרו ואומר, right? So Yaakov Avinu, after he woke up from the dream, he said, אכן יש השם במקום הזה, ואנוכי לא ידעתי. Yes, there is Hashem here in this place, and I didn't know, I was not aware. Why? Because until now, Yaakov was all Kodesh, and he had no relation, no interaction with this world. But now actually he saw, yes, there is Hashem in this world in the lower level, not only in the yeshiva. Right? And the Ma'amar Chazal, our sage is saying in Bereshit Parashat, it says that שהיה שם מקום חיות רעות. It was a place of wild animals. And also the place that is going to live now is also wild animals, right? With Lavan. Also, the Olena Olam Hazeh. So he said, yes, he acknowledged after the dream that there is Hashem over there. And also in the Gashmiut, he can worship and serve Hashem and elevate everything. וזה מה שנאמר, this is what it says. והנה אנוכי עמך, I am with you, ושמרתיך בכל אשר תלך, and I will watch and I will keep you anywhere you go. So he said, it seems to be like a question here. Why? Until now, Hashem was not with him? וכי עד עתה לא היה הקדוש ברוך הוא עמו? But the explanation, כי עד עתה הרי יעקב קודש קודשים. So Yaakov was all spiritual, like an angel and a serpent, and he did not have the need for protection because of that, right? He was in yeshiva, in the greenhouse. But now, Hashem's will, that Yaakov Avinu will start to interact with this world, now we actually need protection. You need guards. I will watch you. And Rashi explained, Hashem is like standing and watching him. Why? Because when a Jew, כאשר יהודי עוסק בענייני עולם הזה, הרי הוא צריך שמירה יתרה לבל ייפול. When we are dealing with this world, we need an extra protection not to fail or not to fall. And that frame, right, and that frame of the Kedusha, within the ladder, within the Torah, within the halachot, etc., the Musar, that's our protection. As the sage says in Masechet Megillah, בכל מקום שגלו ישראל, שכינה עמהם. Everywhere we are exiled, in diaspora, the Shekhinah is with us. And he says, as a nation, בגלות הכלל, והם בגלות הפרט. And then each individual, that when dealing with this world, it's like an exile, בבחינת גלו ישראל. And then the Shekhinah is with us, and then we have the extra protection. But only by staying within the frame. וזה על ידי מסגרת הקדושה של תורה ועבודה, שומרת על יהודים בבחינת ואין עצם משם עליו, right? So if we are in that frame, ומבואר בזה, and explained about the dream that they showed Yaakov Avinu, and the ladder is standing on the ground. It seems to be said that the main dream was the blessing, that Hashem blessed him, right? And he should actually start with Hashem standing upon him, and he said, I am Hashem, the God of Abraham, the God of Yitzchak, right, etc. But they just they show him, like, so he can visualize it with the ladder and the step and going up, step by step, going up, and then also going down. So he could visualize it in the dream to understand that he needs to stay within the frame. And then if he will do that, then he will gain the bracha. ועל ידי זה זוכה לברכה של והנה אנוכי עמך, ושמרתיך בכל אשר תלך, and I watch you. And also it says in Tehillim, right? אחת שאלתי מאת השם, אותה אבקש, שבתי בבית השם כל ימי חיי. One request I have from Hashem, sit in your house all my life. And according to what our sage said in מסכת סוכה, אם פגע בך מנוול זה, משכו אל בית המקדש. So if the evil inclination is trying hard on us, then we should drag him into the Beit HaMidrash. And they ask, okay, how is it going to help him? He's still with the evil inclination. The evil inclination is over there. But he says, yeah, bringing into the Beit HaMidrash, so put the evil inclination also into the frame of the Kedusha and keep so he will not fall out. They said, שאומנם היצר הרע נמצא גם בבית המדרש. Yeah, indeed, the evil inclination is also with you in the בית המדרש, but is actually there inside the בית המדרש. So also there is a protection that you will not fall. And this is what I ask. I want to stay with your house, Hashem, in your house, Hashem. I will be protected, right? And we learn it so many times, and we understand that if we are connected to the congregation and we are in shul and in the community and everything, then we do have a protection. Whether if it is just we don't want the neighbors to see what we're doing or how we act, it's fine. It's still keeping us on track. And this is one of the explanation and the reason for the dream and of the ladder, and why a ladder. It could be maybe an escalator, it could be an elevator, but because of the frame, staying within the frame and going step by step from one frame to another. So actually a ladder is frame and frame and frame and frame, and we see it as steps, but actually it's a bunch of frames going up. So Bezrat Hashem, we will always go up. Thank you for listening and have a great Shabbos.